Hi guys, I am here with Zack and he is from North Shore Insurance, and he is going to be gracious enough to spend a little bit of time with us and talk to us about some things that we may need to know about insurance.
That's right. Thank you, Jessica. So my name is Zack. As Jessica said, I'm Zack White, and I work with North Shore Insurance. I'm an independent property and casualty insurance, meaning that I do personal homeowners and I do personal automobile insurance. And some things that I didn't know before I got into the industry that I think would be valuable for anyone who's looking at purchasing a home or selling a home or just anything, whether you're renting or not. All of this would apply to anyone. Is that first off, when it comes to insurance and your overall situation, is that I would advise you to contact an independent agent like myself, who can shop multiple companies, who represents multiple companies, who can shop for you to find you the most competitive price and the best coverage possible. Not all insurance is created equal. So there are certain endorsements and certain packages that can be selected for you based upon what your situation is, and that it's a good idea to find someone who can personalize and custom fit a solution for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Something that thank you. Something that I try to always consider is when it comes to insurance is over almost 50% of people in the United States are underinsured on their home.
Wow.
Which for most people, their home is the number one purchase they'll make during their lifetime, and almost 50% are underinsured. That means that if you have a home and heaven forbid, something catches on fire and your house completely burns down, that you will not have enough to rebuild it to its current condition. So as an independent agent, I'm looking out for you, my client, and I'm looking at your home, and I'm looking at the construction, the exterior, is it brick? I'm looking at the roof, is it architectural shingle, is it slate, is it asphalt? I'm looking at the bathrooms, are they custom, semi-custom, builder's grade? I'm looking at your kitchen, your countertops, your cabinetry, all of those little things, because we want your home, in the event, heaven forbid, of a catastrophic loss, we want you to be made whole again, which is the purpose of insurance. We want everything back as close to what you previously had before. So having the right amount of homeowners insurance for your situation is always the most important thing you can do when it comes to insurance.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, of course. Another thing that we run into, another reason I advise people to contact a local independent agent is they will be able to find out what is important to you and what really matters to you. I have a customer who a couple weeks ago I was talking to him, and he became a client of mine because I was looking at his overall policy that he had, and he'd called I think he'd gone online, and then someone had called him from a major company, but it was based in another state, and I was looking at pictures of his house and everything, and I kind of asked him, I said, you have a 3-car detached garage. I said, what do you have in there? He said, oh, I've got tools for this woodworking that I do on the side. I make custom furniture. And I looked at his garage and I said, wow, I said, you've only got $14,000 worth of coverage on this. It's probably going to cost you more like $35,000, $40,000 to rebuild it. I would hate for it to have damage or something, and then you not have enough coverage for it, and then all your tools inside, there isn't enough coverage for those either. So for a few dollars more, we were able to increase his coverage significantly, so that he's able to sleep well at night.
Yeah.
And know that he's covered completely. So that is another huge advantage dealing with a local independent agent like myself. And then there's others. I always challenge people whenever they're buying a new home. That's always the best time to really look at different options when it comes to insurance, because you have to do it anyhow.
Right,
so
exactly.
It's a good idea to call and get multiple quotes. And then the advantage of dealing with an independent agent is I represent 9 different companies. So, I have Travelers, I have Progressive. I also have some that you can only get through independent agents like Hanover and Selective, Safeco. And really what they do is they're able to offer fantastic premiums on your home and auto that you can't necessarily get through a company who just does everyone, all the time, who will take any risk. So they are a little more selective, but oftentimes we're able to save people a lot of money and get them better coverage, as well as extended coverage, such as water backup, mold and fungus protection. Those are not typical on homeowners policies. Most people don't know that.
No, I didn't.
But if you work with an independent agent, we can help advise and educate you, and hopefully we'll be able to write the policy. But if not, I want to know that you know as much as you would like to know about what is included in insurance and what should be, what would be important to you.
Yeah, definitely, because I would assume that mold would be covered, because I mean you can come across that and it be something that you're not aware of until it's kind of right there in your face. So I would assume that would be something I'd be able to call my insurance company and be like, hey, I've got mold, what are you going to do? And they'd be like, sorry, you're not covered. So,
yeah, and that's the worst call, and that's one we don't want to ever have to get to where someone isn't covered. So we want to make sure that they have every coverage that they need or that's important to them. So yeah, mold isn't covered. Water backup is huge. We're having all this rain. It looks like we're going to have some more hurricanes coming our way, which could potentially mean a lot more rain. Something what people don't think about is even if their house doesn't flood, if you're in an area and the sewage backs up because of all the water, it will back up the sewage, and the sewage can actually come up through your bathtub or through your toilet or through your washing machine, and it can flood in your house.
Oh no.
And that is not covered with a normal, straight, typical homeowner's policy. You have to have water backup coverage. So you could have $10,000 or $15,000 in coverage, and it's not expensive. It's not expensive. So that will give you, to help replace the cost of, your flooring or your furniture that might be damaged. And really where that comes into effect is when you have a lot of rain over several days, which we anticipate that happening in the near future.
Right.
That's when your risk of your water overflow and backup goes up significantly.
Oh my goodness.
So that's always something to consider.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you talked about flood. With flood insurance, does everybody have to have flood insurance, or is it just for particular areas?
It is only for particular areas that you have to have it. So your mortgage broker, your mortgage lender is going to require you to have it, and it's a FEMA policy. And I write FEMA flood policies through the NIFP. And you can have up to $250,000 on your house and then $100,000 on contents.
Oh, okay.
If you need more than $250,000, we can go to a secondary market. I only advise clients to purchase FEMA policies as their main policy on their house. Those are guaranteed by the federal government, so that's the best kind.
Yeah.
And flood policies can range in price. They can vary in price based upon your location and the elevation certificate. But what a lot of people don't know is you can still purchase flood insurance if you're worried about flooding. If you say, I'm not in the flood zone necessarily, but I'm worried that, I could flood. I've seen water backing up in front of me. You can purchase a preferred policy. They're not that expensive, $450 to $550. And that preferred policy can protect you in the event of a flood. And so they're a lot cheaper than a normal flooded insurance policy, but they still offer the same level of protection.
Nice.
And unfortunately, that is what a lot of people in North Carolina right now need.
Yeah,
I've been researching, and I was reading on USA Today earlier, that only 3% of the people in the inland counties in North Carolina, that got the 40 inches of rain, had flood insurance on their home. So, and it's going to be a tough spot for many thousands of homeowners, unfortunately. So it would have been well worth, had they done it earlier, to pay, $400, $500 a year to provide flood insurance.
And that's $400, $500 a year. So a month, that breaks down to almost nothing. I mean, to save your home and to save the stuff that's in your home,
of course,
it's definitely worth it.
Well worth it. Well worth it.
Good grief. Well, thank you so much for talking with me and going over things. Guys, if you have any questions or want to reach out to Zach to, maybe get a quote on what you currently could get, then give him a call. What's your number?
My number, I'll give you my cell phone number. I always answer
we're
it.
Special here.
It's 706-296-0110.
Perfect. And guys, I'm telling you, for him to take the time out to sit here and talk with us and give us the information, he's definitely going to be a great go-to for any questions that you might need. And if you need me to even be kind of like a referee in between the two of you, I can definitely do that and ask him any questions that you might send me. So thanks for tuning in. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you for having me, Jessica.
Y'all have a good one. Bye.
Take care.